We are back at it again here with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. To all the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all subscribers, welcome back. I'll ask for in return this video to smash that like button to let me know you watch this video. Helps out the YouTube channel and lets me know you appreciate the time and effort I put into making these videos. So here we are with BBIG. We're going to jump into it here with BBIG stock and everything going on with the data and where it currently stands. But before we jump into it, I want to share with you guys the 2 home run opportunities that I mentioned this morning over at the Discord, and this is something you can become part of as well. Check out the link down below, and we're going to get right into it here with BBIG. So the home runs of the day were spectacular. Even though the stock market was pulling downwards and the S&P 500 index is slightly down in the red, we managed to find 2 home run opportunities that I mentioned this morning over at the Discord. If this is something that interests you, I would like to invite you to join us. Check out the link down below to the Discord. You'll become part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together through the volatility of the market. We try to do this daily. That is the goal. 5 to 10% is a regular day, 10 to 20% is a great day, and 20% plus is a home run. And we managed to find 2 home runs today. So these are the stocks I mentioned this morning. EFTR and GVO were the best performers. GVO turned out to be a consistent uptrend, and we're going to look at that together here. So EFTR happened in a matter of minutes, okay? Just a minute after the bell, it was already up 10-15%, and 3 minutes after the bell, it was up 20%. It got halted, and it took off to a highest point of 40% plus 2 times, okay? This was up here nearly almost 45%. This was already touching 40%, and this happened in less than 30 minutes. And then it gave small jumps even after that big run and pullback of about another 10 to 20%. Now, we have here GVO. We caught this one in the pre-market. It was sitting sideways. I was going to watch how it reacted after the bell, after the big news of who they partnered with. And this one went up to a highest point of 30% plus. And you could see here with 42 vision how it would show the strength throughout even every little pullback. Because on a regular chart, these would be red candlesticks that create uncertainty or doubt, right? So with 42 vision, even if you didn't catch the first run, that little pullback right there would give confidence, right? It gives me confidence to get in and ride it up again. That little pullback, I would hold through it and just continue until a transition would happen. And at this point here, it was up 20% plus, and it hit a highest point of 30% plus on the day, guys. If this is something that interests you, check out the link down below in the description to the Discord. You'll become part of a growing community of investors, and we look forward to having you join us. Let's jump into the charts. So here we are with BBIG stock on 42 vision, and you could see how there's strength here on the 30-minute, and it's just continuing to go higher. Now, the main thing I want to talk about here is that every time these jumps happen, right, like we saw yesterday, it pulled back and it spiked up to 12, and then we've seen, you know, that big jump from way back here on September 7th, and it took off in the aftermarket hours. Some covering is happening within that, because as the days to cover go lower, right, and they change, that means that covering has happened, okay? Because that has a lot to do with, obviously, the amount of shares that are out there and the amount of short interest that's out there, okay? Amount of short shares, and then they get divided. So it's a mathematical equation that constitutes to, you know, the lower that goes, the less short shares are out there, or the less that are actually being utilized. But right now with BBIG, it's kind of complicated because the utilization, if you go to different sources, you'll see that there's 0 short shares available, and it's nearly almost 99 point something percent, right? Like 99%, let's just round it down to that, almost 100%. And a lot of investors are asking, well, if it's that high, why hasn't this squeezed? Like, why are short shares not available and shorts not covering? And if there's no short shares available, that means that a lot of the ones that are covering, which is kind of interesting, it seems like they cover and then the stock bounces and then they buy back or reposition themselves with those short shares, but up here, okay? And they're trying to short it from here, right, to here, okay? And that's something to think about. And even within all these high areas here, a lot of short shares are being re-shorted, but up here to bring it down here, okay? So when you think about the shorts covering, you got to remember shorts covered from here, maybe around here. And that's where you get these bounces that you see right here, and like even like the one right here right now. So shorts are still out there that need to cover, because this was nearly up at 50% short interest. It has gone down to about the 20s, and it has bounced back up to the 30s. So there are some shorts now getting positions again to short up here. And if you also look at the put and call ratios out there, like a couple months out, you'll see that there's some big positions going into put positions in expiration of about like a month or two from now. So that's another thing to be aware of. So this is a battleground here, guys. And I've told you guys, the risk is a lot higher all the way up here than it was way down here, and even on the way up towards 10. And even down here when it kind of touched these lows, that was another speculative approach, even though it's kind of up and it was retouching those levels where it actually started to bounce in the after hours when I first talked about it back on the 27th, and I made a video on it. And then it would be a speculative approach to where it went, and it nearly doubled. And that was more than enough right there. Take profits, move on. Now I pulled right back down. It's nearly doubled again, as you could see it. Not the same exact amount, but it's nearly doubled. And now it's pulled right back down, and it's trying to push up. So this is near 52-week highs. The speculation's out there that this could reach $15. But what's the data, right? So right now, this has changed, the short ratio, okay? And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to days to cover. The short ratio was 0.38. It's now 0.30 based off of this information here. Sometimes it's delayed, right? Then we come over here, and the days to cover here, which is the short ratio, is 0.10. The lower this goes, right, the quicker shorts can actually cover. And I'm seeing it as if like the shorts are covering pretty fast in the middle of the days or at the end of the days, but every time they cover, this is not going anywhere new. Okay, a lot of investors, when they expect a short squeeze, they want runs like this one right here. This is a pretty reasonable run of a short squeeze. This is another reasonable run. And this one right here is reasonable, as you could see it, bright as day, right? From 3 all the way up to 10. That's a 3x. But then shorts are covering within all of this in small amounts and pieces, and the largest portion of shorts already covered from 50% to when this brought itself down to 20s and 28%. Now it's going back up. And the reason why it's going back up and the utilization is high is because there's shorts that are now not covering or building positions down here from up here. And what they're hoping to do is bring it way back here or shake the bulls themselves. Because remember, I've talked about this before. Sometimes it's not always the shorts. Sometimes it could be the bulls themselves getting shaken out of positions, selling for a loss or taking the small profits and moving on. And if that volume picks up of actually outflow and people selling, it could pull the stock down. So that is something to be aware of as well. So based off both sources, the days to cover is pretty low. Now short interest is 27 here. The first time we started talking about BBIG way back on August 27th, in the last like week and a half, this was at 50%, okay? It was huge down here, around here, and it's been going lower since. And if you look here at these lines, it's way above those certain levels, which is something interesting as well. So this is showing here 27%. This could be anywhere between 27 to 31, 32, 33%. Now the borrow fee rate keeps going up, okay? And it's right now showing a short squeeze score of 97.79. So this is still a candidate, right, for short squeeze in the positions that it's in. It's just, you know, the risk to reward is how high could it really go? It's near 52-week highs. It touched a new 52-week high at 1251. It needs to break through it, and if it does, it needs to hold itself up if it wants to get anywhere close those speculative price points that a lot of investors are talking about, which is $15 and all the way up towards $20. I look forward to seeing what your thoughts are down below on how you feel, because one of the biggest catalysts right now is the fails to deliver plus the remaining short shares out there of short interest and shorts that actually have positions from way down here that may need to cover, and they're not really buying back up here. Because the ones that are covering, there's others, or even the same ones that covered, are buying short shares at these levels to try to pull it down when this does actually subside in volume and momentum. And one of the biggest things is right here. The volume is getting weaker. The average 10-day volume was 186 million, and now it's 75 million. That's a big difference. That's almost half the volume. If the volume keeps on getting weaker, yeah, we'll have small jumps and stuff, but we won't have nothing crazy to the upside of like 50%, 100% if volume doesn't continue to stay strong, and if the bulls don't hold up at these levels and don't get shaken out themselves, handing it right back to the shorts. Now with 42 vision, you can clearly see here one of the best entries was right at this point at extremely oversold, and that was a speculative entry to ride it up. And then when the momentum came after that, you see the weakness. Now momentum's back, and the question is, could it actually continue, or will it go downwards, creating that effect of two tops and then bringing itself down and then a third top, right? That's something to watch for as well. So this did extend pretty big yesterday. It pulled back pretty fast. This consolidation above $10 has been phenomenal, and you can see there the support right there at that level, how it used it, and then it's taken off. If it could stay above $10, this has strength. If it breaks through 965, I would watch this very carefully. And to the upside, the bulls need to break through 1250 to reach newer highs and new resistance levels. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.